r/AskReddit. Former burglars of Reddit. Where is one place people should never hide valuables? Your shed. Seriously. Lock your duck-eyeing shed. Even if your house is well locked. If your shed isn't, I likely have access to a plethora of tools I can use to gain access. Don't help the burglar. Lock your shed. Don't keep spare key near front door, under pot plant, under doormat, top of door frame etc. Why are you excluding active burglars from the conversation? Fire safes only are safe from fires. My cousin lives in a bad neighborhood, so she went to a thrift store, bought an obvious looking jewelry box and a bunch of expensive looking costume jewelry that's actually worthless and put it in the box. She keeps this in a conspicuous place. Then she leaves a few 20s on top. This way if someone breaks in, they will grab this and run, ignoring some of her well hidden valuables. Also, side note, I used to do door-to-door sales for ADT. People would let me in the house and just tell me where all the important stuff was before even verifying I was legit. Don't do that. Don't leave things out that people can see from outside your home or car. If you buy a new TV or computer, break down the box it came in. Don't just leave it by your garbage bin. Lock doors and windows. Keep your handbag close and closed. If someone wants to break in, they will. Don't keep everything out in the open. And have insurance on anything that is valuable. Inside vacuum cleaner. We hid money in it and it got stolen with everything else in the house back in Syria. Edit. Thief was the military forces that invaded the area, not someone I know or someone desperate. Wow, that sucks. Avoid having your valuables stolen by not having any valuables. We had our apartments burgled. There were 4 apartments in the area. Guy kicked down the door and apparently was in or out pretty quickly. I came home from work. Cop told me, never leave valuables in your nightstand. Might have even said bottom drawer. Sure enough, mine were checked. I could tell because my envelopes were moved from where I placed them. For the college kids that might read this, don't keep your textbooks in your car. On the day of my finals, I had about 6 textbooks I was gonna sell after my finals. I left the books in my car while I took my tests. Came back to find someone broke my window out to steal the textbooks. Cop told me that it's very common and unlikely they will catch the guy. So I was out $700, which was huge as a college student. Watch the show It Takes a Thief, if you can find it. That'll give you some good ideas about this stuff. Edit. Thank you for my first award, kind user. Who knew a simple comment would blow up like this? UHH, oddly enough over something I have relevant experience with as a teenager/young adult. Definitely put it behind me, so it's kinda funny how this worked out. LOL. I've seen people make false outlets for hiding valuables like cash and jewelry. Just an idea. A burglar would have to be at your home for a long time to start checking outlets. Someone will be in for a surprise if they open the safe I keep in my nightstand. It's full of my kids' baby teeth. Not a burglar, but our home has been broken into. We only had the 1 bedroom at the time. But the places that the burglar looked into were the closet, everything was thrown out. Desk drawers, found a bit of cash and our passports were taken. The entry furniture, drawers, under the bed, bedside tables. At least now I know where not to hide valuables. Not that I have any. Edit. Thanks for the gold, kind stranger. I better hide it in the freezer now. Edit 2. Typo. Burglar, not burglar. This doesn't exactly answer the question asked, but it is a tip on potentially protecting your valuables. Bear with me because it's a bit strange. Glue a spare key, not one that opens something important, under your doormat. Weird, right? A few years ago I did this in addition to installing cameras. Over the last couple of years I've seen this exact scenario play out. Thief walks to the door, checks under the mat, unsuccessfully tries to grab the key, backs up, looks around to see if anyone is watching, presumably because they think they have fallen for some trap prank where they are being surveilled, and leaves. They don't even search for another way in because it spooks them. I had a Malamute dog years ago, had another 2 later, but this was a particularly fluffy one. A friend had heard that it was possible to spin their fur, so I saved enough to knit several jumpers. Anyway, a burglar took stuff from our garage in this massive box of fur too. Must have been quite a surprise. Reading this discussion with fascination and imagining alternative life where I have stuff worthy of stealing. Also, my husband is a hoarder, so I would be grateful if somebody came and stole some stuff. A safe. Also, almost all locks are bullshit unless you had a locksmith put in security pins. But the robbers can just take the safe and figure it out later if time is an issue. Edit. On the lock issue, if you are in the US, there are about 5 major door lock manufacturers. A thief can have just 5 bump keys, plus a few others just in case, and get in your house easily. A bump key is just a referenced key that is ground down to 4 or 5 equal triangular points. When inserted with the proper bump key to the lock, you just bump the back of the key with a rubber mallet and try to time the turn when all of the pins align. Usually just takes about 5 tries or less. I hide my vegetables in the meat drawer of my refrigerator. Pro tip. Hide your small valuables inside a used empty fire extinguisher. No one is going to steal a fire extinguisher. And where do you guys live? Just really curious. P. Sherman. 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney. Obligatory, never done it, but you'd be surprised at how often people leave their cars unlocked with nice things inside. A lot of people actually leave them unlocked with the keys inside, lol. It's how the majority of cars are stolen. Eliminating the easy opportunity is the easiest step and will do a lot to keep your valuables safe. There are also quite a lot of cars still in circulation where the door locks don't use the digital portion of the key, meaning that the same physical shape key is used for literally millions of cars. My old Ford Focus kept being unlocked by people when parked outside my house back in the day, and I found out my key would open my friend's Ford Focus too. Obviously, these keys won't let you start the car, but they'll give access to the cabin no problem. Inside one of those small lock boxes. It's great when you find one because they're simple to open, and if they don't have a wall safe then all of their main valuables and money are usually in it. A jackpot. Not a burglar or former burglar, but never hide keys and lock combinations in a jar near the door or under your welcome mat. Also, if you purchase something big, like a TV or something big, never leave the box near your home. The burglar would see it and know you have something valuable in there. I know this sounds crazy, but mow your lawn frequently. It'll show that you have been and had enough time to mow your lawn and that someone must be there. It's obvious, but only announce your trips when you're finished so at first nobody knows you're not there. Edit. Row. How did this get so many likes and replies? Only posted this barely yesterday. 50% of the people on my street are either retired or work from home or have a stay-home spouse. Always an old lady watching through her curtains. It's my safest home ever. I'm going to keep a small safe in the living room with a giant foam middle finger inside for when the day comes. Former burglars of Reddit. I want to hear from the current burglars of Reddit. I like burglars that don't get caught. Okay. My mother has a closet filled with food supplies. Boxes of bags of spices and such. There's at least 3 dozen such boxes at all times in said closet. One of them, and she replaces it regularly so the expiration date remains relevant. She opens up carefully, fills with valuables, and then carefully closes back up. She had me try to find which one of the boxes it was. I genuinely couldn't tell from sight alone. Only the slightly different heft tipped me off after 10 minutes. No burglar will ever find that stash. Had my house burglarized by a so-called friend. He missed by far the most valuable thing. It's just a safe sitting on the laundry room floor. He missed it because I'm a scumbag and had it covered with a mountain of dirty clothes and towels. So not being tidy saved me upwards of $35k. This will get buried, but here we go. Not a burglar, but some broke into my family's house 4 or 5 years ago when we were out on a concert. They checked everything. Took all money and jewelry they could find. Except, my room was a mess to begin with. I left piles of clothes on the floor. My study desk messy AF. Left piles of papers on both desk and floor. I was in a hurry before we all left and was searching for something I can't quite remember now. I had €800 and golden earrings on my desk. Just sitting there. The burglars opened the doors and didn't move a thing. Left my €800 and golden earrings alone and moved to another room. From then on I have been using this as an excuse why I don't need to clean up my room. Closets. Goldmine for jewelry. LED lighting is cheap these days. If your house is gonna be vacant for a while, consider investing in one of those smart lighting home automation systems where you can set different rooms to turn on and off at different points in the day. The kitchen during dinner time, bedrooms at night, etc. My neighbor did that and it fooled me. I rang his doorbell to ask to borrow a pressure washer wand, with no response. Figured he was with family and wasn't taking any more visitors, but turns out he's been on vacation for the past 4 days. Not a burglar but grew up in a high crime area and knew some boys out there hitting licks. Bit off topic, but there were some guys that would ride a bike through busy parking lots searching for women loading up after shopping and leaving their purse unattended in their shopping cart. Ride by and snatch, then have a getaway route that a full-sized vehicle can't follow them through. Any safe that's not bolted down and is small enough for 1-2 people to carry isn't safe at all. Also, my ex's grandfather had a safe stolen from his home that was bolted down. The thieves wrapped a chain around it and ran it out the window to a truck. Took the safe straight through the wall. All they had to do was follow the drag marks though, but still. I heard a lot of people hide stuff in the air vents. Is it searched usually? Also, my mum used to hide what little valuables we had in a small space behind our washing machine. A really heavy one. Except if you knew it was there you couldn't know there was a space here, and that it was accessible. She had to spend 10-15 minutes hiding stuff because it was really hard to access. So I guess that burglars wanting to do their thing as quickly as possible wouldn't spend time looking there. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.